Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Michelle. If you're new here, I am Mish Market on Poshmark and on Instagram. I am a full-time reseller, and today, I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to show you all of the cleaning supplies that I use when I am repairing and working on clothes that I source to resell. So let's get right into it. These are the 4 items that I primarily use on shoes. Actually, whoops, I'm leaving one out. These are the items I use on shoes. My dog is trying to get through. Leo, can you go, please? Excuse me, sir. These are the 5 items that I use primarily, 6 if you count the alcohol pads, and I'm just going to go over each one of them. The Dr. Martens Wonder Balsam is great for shining shoes and just sort of bringing back the color and bringing back the leather to life. So you don't really need a ton. It tells you what's in here. It's a blend of coconut oil, lanolin, beeswax, etc. It also says that it protects against water, but doesn't necessarily mean that it makes it waterproof, if that's unclear. Okay, so you really only need a little bit, and I'm going to try to open this with one hand. And on the inside, it comes with, you can see mine is pretty used. It comes with, a little brush and like a holder, and I've had only just this one for at least a year, and I still have plenty to go. So that's great when you're working on shining leather shoes. I think some other people have other like shining tips. For like rubber shoes, you might use something else, but for leather, this works great. On suede shoes, I also really like to use this brush just to brush the suede, get like little weird things off the edges and corners and things. I'll brush the suede down and maybe like rub it with these little nubs. Sometimes there's scuffs or there might be like dirt caught into the sole or something, and I'll use this and this little like rubbery pick here. And then along with the suede brush, I'll use this little suede and nubuck stone. So the sides of the stone are rough, and then this is flat. So you can use these sides to rub out any of the scuffs, and then you can use this to sort of smooth out the suede, and I'll show you that in a little bit. This is a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and an alcohol pad. I like using the alcohol pads as opposed to just straight up alcohol, just because it's a little bit easier. I don't always need like a ton, but I have alcohol on hand too if I need it. The magic erasers you can just buy in bulk, and you can get an off-brand one. I just happen to have this one. So they also come with in like a smaller form. The only thing I don't like about these is that when you use them sort of vigorously, they break apart. And I know that I saw like a thinner version. So you can see they're like these thick little eraser things. I'll clean the marker stain off of the bottom of a shoe, and it'll just bring the color back to life. You can keep reusing them even when they're black. So you can just keep going and going and going until there's really nothing left, but I don't like that they disintegrate. So that's that. And then when this hasn't quite done the trick and the soles still look a little bit yellow or not so great, I'll try to insert a before and after, but then I'll use this Sharpie oil paint pen. This is really great for like small little white details that have discolored or you just can't get the stains out, mostly for the soles of shoes. I'll show you guys a pair of shoes that I use this on, and the soles were just yellow, like they had been walking in the sand or something. And so anyway, this is just a little pen. You can just color in the area that you want to color in. It doesn't really leave any streaks or anything, but if you're trying to cover a large surface, it might. So I would just say use this with caution. This is just really great for like the smaller details or for like a very thin sole that you want to cover up and just kind of recolor. And I've sold shoes with this around the sole, and I've had no issues. Okay, so as far as clothing goes, I will use the micellar water, which is actually fairly new. This is a new trick I've been doing. I actually learned about this from, she was formerly the Curated Tomato and is now XO Rachel. Okay, so you can put a little bit of the micellar water on like a microfiber towel or just a paper towel. Sometimes I'll even just throw it on the, instead of using water for the magic eraser, I'll use this. But anyway, it'll take the makeup off of like necklines and collars and things. I've used it on silk. It tells you to use a cotton pad. I don't always use that. I don't always have them around. But I use this sparingly, but when I do use it, it works great. This is just a lint roller, which for obvious reasons is necessary, but I mostly use this after sweater shaving. So this is the Cooter, and the reason I like this is because it plugs into the wall, so I can just open this up and the prongs will come out. But the only problem I have with this is that I need to replace the blades on the inside, and it does come with replacement blades. However, I haven't been able to figure out how to replace the blades. It just doesn't like snap back in. So that's been my issue. I'm probably going to email them, or I may just replace it altogether. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just like that you can recharge it and you don't always have to buy new batteries, and that it plugs directly into the wall. I have seen people using other ones that, you know, might be better, but this is the one I've been using for a little over a year, and it's been great. When this doesn't get some of the smaller, finer pills on a sweater, I'll just use a razor. So it's pretty simple, but it was something I didn't know about before reselling. And yeah, you can just shave in the direction of the thread and get rid of some of the pilling on a sweater, and that's why I use a razor. Well, this does look like an ad for OxyClean, but these are all of the stain treating items that I use. And aside from these three, I don't really use much else. However, I have tried using baking soda and water, or baking soda and hydrogen peroxide for heavier stains, or just for things that are more delicate materials. I've experimented with a bunch of different stuff, and sometimes I'll use other things, but these are the primary ones that I'll go for. So this is just the OxyClean powder. Sometimes when you want to soak an item, you can do that with this. You can just soak it in a tub, soak it in a bucket, and it's just powder on the inside. So the good thing about this is that it's really obviously it says versatile, but you can use it in the laundry and cleaning. Clearly I've used plenty, but yeah, it's just a powder that dissolves in water. And the great thing about it, like I said, is that you can use it in a lot of different ways. So that's the best thing about this. This is probably my favorite product of the group. This one is the OxyClean Max Force Spray. So I like using this one as a stain treater before I put something in the washing machine. If it has a stain, or if I'm going to soak it, I'll treat it with this first. I use this on my own clothes as well. It's just great for whites, for colors, for whatever it might be. It doesn't, so there's like not much in here, but it's just like a white color. It doesn't have any color to it. So if you're ever concerned about the colors blending or anything like that, it's not super harsh. Now, there have been instances where I've used this on whites more specifically, and the fabric, if it was dry clean only, will turn yellow. So that is the only instance where I don't use this. I will use it on whites that are not dry clean only, so like a white cotton shirt or a white, anything that's not dry clean only is my point. Anything that's not dry clean only, you can use this on. Obviously, if it says dry clean only, you should dry clean it. Sometimes as a reseller, I've ignored that. But it has not always worked in my favor, and I have destroyed items by trying to stain treat them. And then this is the last item that I'll use. This is another pre-treater. I use this probably the least of the three, but it is really great for like it says, tough, dried, and stains. So things that have been like sitting for a bit. If the other spray doesn't work, I'll just rub this on it, and usually this does the trick. And so this one has these little nubs on top, and the color of the treater is blue. So I haven't had an issue with color staining or anything, but it does. I do like that it's blue because of the fact that you can see where you're applying it. Sometimes with the spray, you can't always see where it's getting really saturated, but this is great for those other items. I'm clearly running out here. This is a pair of my own shoes that I'm going to clean up a little bit. They are suede, so I'm just going to show you how I use the brush and the suede and nubuck stone. You can see a little bit here how there are some marks that are up in the corners here. Also on the instep here. And there used to be like really, really bad marks along the side here. I'm going to see if I can get any of those out, and let's just get to it. So I'm going to take the rough edge and I'm just going to start rubbing. I'm just going to start rubbing on the area that needs it the most. I'll kind of start out a little bit lightly and see how it goes. See if it needs more pressure. And that pretty much did the trick. So you can't really see any of the markings there. But what I'll do just to get the grain of the suede a little bit smoother, I'll just rub this along the side to smooth it out. And that's the flat surface. I'll just rub this down. And then I'll do the same thing with any other areas that I think need a little bit of work. Now with this brush, sometimes you can already tell like it's a little grimy and dirty. But what I'm using this edge for is to get like little pieces of dirt out from the inside. And I'll like clean the sides a little bit. If there's this was an issue here. There's like this I don't know what this is. It's like something black is on just the tip of the heel. So I'll just rub this along the side with, as much as I can and try to get it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the brush is just nice to have. You can also brush down the suede with this, so that's another thing. These are my white sneakers, and they're leather. They've got some scuffing up around the toe, so what I actually did before going to Posh Fest was I filled it in with the oil paint just to get it to be white again. And then you can see on the back the soles are getting a little bit grimy. The soles in general are getting a little bit dirty. So I'm going to just use the Wonder Balsam, a magic eraser, and the oil pen to clean them up. Okay, so I just moistened just like the corner of this a little bit, and I'm just going to go around, not on the leather, but on the sole to try to clean them up a little bit. Now I actually have, so you can already see it's starting to take effect, and it's working. It works really well. But you can also, now I would tread lightly on this one, but I have seen people use this on the leather itself to get like stains and stuff out from leather, but lightly, super lightly. And you can see that it's a little bit better now. So if I keep going all the way around, the shoes will be much whiter. And some of this foam does come up a little bit from, at least from the magic eraser when it's too wet. It's just so much better. post magic eraser. There's still some work to be done, like the leather up here maybe needs to be cleaned a little bit more, and I can maybe even go over this part of the leather with the magic eraser, but super lightly. The reason that the magic eraser works is because it sort of breaks down, I don't want to say anything incorrect, but from what I've heard, it's kind of like it breaks down the material a little bit. So it's just really, really powerful, and if you use it on leather, it could damage the leather. The only reason I use it here is because it's really just the surface, and I'm using it very, very lightly, very sparingly. So yeah, I primarily use it for the soles of shoes. Even though I don't really think this needs it, I'm going to just color over a small patch right here so you can see what using this would look like. So first you want to shake it up. And then you just sort of dab and fill in certain small areas. Now, you can already see how it's much wider now on this one little corner. And I'm only doing this because it's my shoes. I wouldn't necessarily... This would take a very long time, so I wouldn't use this as the primary way to clean a shoe. It's not really cleaning. You're more or less covering up something that's already there. But it is really great for, I've seen a lot of people who sell sneakers use this for like the small little white details. And for something that's got, that's not just this smooth surface, if it's something that's bumpy, it works a lot better because, again, it kind of blends in and doesn't look like a marker necessarily. Okay, so you can already see that is much wider, and then by comparison here, you can see how this area is much wider than this one, which I've done nothing to. So side by side, showing you one with the magic eraser, one without. You can already see what the difference is, which I think is the coolest thing. But yeah, if you just use the magic eraser by itself, that would be more than enough. And then with the Doc Martens Wonder Balsam, when I feel like it's needed, I'll just dip the styrofoam that it comes with, or the little cleaning pad that it comes with, in the solution, and I'll just really lightly go over the leather just to shine it. This I'm being really careful with because the tip of the toe is already broken, but it does just make it a little bit shinier. It's easier to see on like black or brown or something like that. But I will also say with black or brown leathers, it's easy to use too much and then change the color because the leather really like absorbs the Wonder Balsam, I guess. But you'll make it too dark, so you have to use it sparingly in the sense that you're just using a little bit at a time in small areas, and then, you know, just sort of see how it goes. Just don't use too much of this stuff. Okay guys, that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and also let me know if you use any of these cleaning products, or if you use anything else, if there's something that you would recommend. I always love to try new products and just sort of test them out for myself, see how I like them. So if there's something you'd recommend, hit a girl up. If you like this video and videos like this, please would you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Hit the bell for notifications if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.